I'm Bill Having, and this is Will. State your last name for the record, Will.
My name is Will Van Borum.
Van Born, and we're going to talk about Christianity here a little bit, and the house down the street where plenty of parolees live, and we're trying to do our best to help guys get a new chance, a new start on life. So, Will, were you, what kind of shape were you in when you got to the house when you met Shannon and the guys?
Well, I was on the path to go the right direction, but I still wasn't doing well. I'd find myself drinking and, doing other drugs, on an occasional basis, which wasn't too helpful. And spiritually and faithfully, I was empty. I did not believe in God. I did not have any desire to believe in Him. And, yeah, things definitely changed.
So what was the thing that at that house or around those people or us people or whatever that convinced you that it might be a good idea to believe?
Well, it was a particular person, Shannon Gilroy, and God definitely spoke through him, and, eventually I was faithful. I mean, I started going off to church, not necessarily believing, but, it just carried away into, a very powerful thing, and, I practice Christianity every day, and it's a very powerful thing to me. And
so tell me about when you got baptized. What was that about?
That was a wonderful experience. Took place at my grandparents' house. There's a pool that we all got baptized in, me and several other people that were part of the house. Shannon and Wes partaked in baptizing me, and there's probably over 100 people there supporting, and we all had a potluck, barbecued, and had a good time, in the name of God.
Now, when you say potluck, you guys were smoking pot at this baptism?
No.
Pot, okay.
No pot at all.
Okay,
it was more like a barbecue.
Pots of food, huh?
Yeah, pots of food.
Okay, great. So then, Will, what exactly, what is it about the house that you think is really the most positive thing? I mean, were you fed well? Were the living conditions good? People are good? Tell me about it. We can talk about the negative stuff a bit in a minute, but let's get the positive.
I think the most positive thing is that everybody's there to do the same thing, and that's to improve their life, both, through their addictions and faithfully. Yeah. And the fact that, all of them, all been to the same place, they can all relate to one another on where they've been and on the same direction that they're going.
Mm-hmm. So, and what was it that caught your attention to that? Because mostly parolees down there, huh?
Yes.
And how did you fit in with it? And you were the youngest guy there too, right?
Youngest and the only one not on parole, only on probation.
And how did you fit in there with it?
It felt weird, but, everybody had their own, I fit in perfectly, actually, It was weird. It's hard to explain almost.
Actually, when it comes down to living with people, living in community, we all just about come out equal, huh?
Yes.
Because we all got the same set. If we're spiritually broke, we're spiritually broke, If we got drinking problems, we have drinking problems. I've been thinking a lot about this drinking and drug using thing. And in my opinion, I think sometimes we make that a god that we just think about all the time. We're either going to get loaded or we're not going to get loaded. And I've been thinking in terms of, let's not make it so primary in our lives. Let's just, it is what it is. Let's live our lives for God and let that happen, whatever happens. What do you think of that idea?
I think it's more or less the devil. And, bad behavior is definitely easier than good behavior.
But if we over focus on that kind of behavior, is it going to be good for us or is it going to be bad? What do you think?
If you over focus on anything but God is bad behavior.
Okay, that's what I've been thinking. So what we're trying to do there at the house is figure out new ways to help people, because some of the stuff we do and we've seen done before isn't working quite like we wish it would. So what was the negative, your most negative experience there?
Negative. Other than the fact that I wasn't able to be at home as much, and I think it was more or less, I haven't been too much in a jail environment or institutional environment where I have to do things more or less, irresponsibility. Mm-hmm. And, I was more or less, the negatives are all from me and not from other people, and my mind thought.
Okay, and then I also heard that Lana is quite a caring person. I mean, I know her as a real loving, caring person, and she and Shannon actually kind of oversee the whole thing, don't they?
Yes.
And so, and how was she? She was really a decent, loving person to you? Or?
Oh, she was amazing. I love her to death. Okay,
that's good. So then, basically, your experience there, you became a Christian. How are you doing with your court case, or do you have one, or?
Well, it's going well. I just have to. I have my sentencing on the 1st, but as long as they said I provide, the graduation, everything's going to be okay. I'm going to do probation for 3 years. and a few other things. But for the most part, things worked out way better than they would have if I did not partake in the program.
Okay, so basically it was a positive experience in your life.
Oh, definitely. I would be without God without it.
Hey, you would have never met us either,
Yeah, can't complain about that.
No. So anyway, your the biggest benefit was actually finding God and getting started in that whole Christian life, or following Jesus, I guess is what they were teaching you.
Yeah, by far that was the best part, because I already had the desire to stop using, which it helped, turn it from a desire to something that was actually being put into effect.
Right.
But it was more or less, being on a spiritual basis and, being connected with God.
Right on. Well, thanks, Will. Anything else you want to say? We're just going to use this video to help people understand what it is we're trying to accomplish. Is there anything else you want to add? Or
Sure. I think it was a wonderful program, and I think it's awful that the California is cutting down costs to be able to help out these type of homes.
Yeah.
And for me personally, from my experience, I've gained so much out of it. Not just not using, but also faithfully and spiritually. I mean, I am a way better person than who I used to be. And even before that house, I worked on being to the person to right when I got to the house, and then from the house I even grew up even more.
Right on. Well, thank you, Will. Thanks for your time, bro, and have a great evening.
You too.
All right, buddy. Are they gonna